everybody, welcome to another transit talk. Today I'm going to be talking about Venus retrograde in Scorpio, which I'm a little late to the game. It officially started on October 5th, but I didn't feel like I was really clear on the message I wanted to convey on this transit until today. So like I said, Venus began retrograde on the 5th of October and will be in retrograde until November 16th. Venus is our values. It's the things that we desire, the things that make us feel good, our relationships. Scorpio is a very deep energy. It's death and transformation. It's the things that we desire on a very carnal level that maybe we're not willing to share openly. And the type of stuff that goes on in Scorpio is the type of stuff that the other signs of the zodiac might not want to talk about because it's too weird. If you think about all those really creepy and weird looking fish at the bottom of the ocean that have like lights on their head and like the weird teeth and everything like that, that's Scorpio stuff. It's deep down in there. You can't really see it, but when you go down and you take a look, you're just like, ooh, I don't know if I want to stay down here. It's a little weird for me. So those are the types of things that are going to come up during this transit, is the weird stuff that we aren't consciously aware of necessarily, or if we are aware of it, we're trying to push it back deep within the ocean where it belongs because it's too scary to really confront head on. Scorpio does have that controlling nature to it. It doesn't necessarily trust other people or other forces to make things happen. It wants to do it itself. Venus going retrograde through Scorpio, I think, is going to be teaching all of us we need to loosen our grip on things. We need to let go of some of that control. That kind of control that we're talking about here, it comes from a place of fear. It comes from this place of, if I don't control the situation, if I don't micromanage the situation, then I don't know what's going to happen. I'm afraid of what's going to happen. So out of that fear, we go out of our way to have this death grip on things because we think we know better. If we let go of that control and we leave it up to God and the universe, well, damn, anything could happen. And that's really scary, especially for my fellow control freaks out there. Letting go of this death grip on life and situations is terrifying. I have a lot of fixed energy in my chart. Ask anybody that knows me and they will tell you that I like to plan everything. I like to have lists. I like to know exactly how I'm going to get from point A to point B. And I like to micromanage the hours of my day and know exactly what's going to happen. And I do that on a smaller scale with my daily to-do lists, which is fine, but I also have done that on a larger scale. When I was younger, I had a really unhealthy relationship with food and exercise because I was trying to micromanage my body. But a really amazing thing happens when you let go of control. In that instance, when I finally stopped with all of the crazy diets and exercise plans and just listened intuitively to what my body wanted to eat, my health was so much better. I thought that by having that kind of control on the situation that I was going to be super healthy and fit and whatever, but I was in a pretty bad place. My body was not happy at that point. So when I did let go of that control and I just went with the flow, I was so much healthier. I lost a lot of that guilt that I carried around anytime I was hungry or anytime I was tired and I didn't want to go to the gym. I just felt guilty all the time. I didn't have to worry about it anymore because I was not in control of the situation. I was leaving it up to God and the universe to tell me what to eat, when to eat it, and how to move my body. What is it in your life that you have a death grip on that you're too afraid to let go of because the alternative of someone or something else being in control is petrifying for you? There's something for everybody, and whatever that thing is, that's what's going to come up during this transit, is the thing that you have that death grip on, that you are so afraid to let go of, that you can't just let God be in charge and understand that the way you think something is supposed to happen, the steps that you think are required to get from point A to point B, that's not how God works. The things that we think are possible only scratch the surface of the way that God works, because we only see what's in front of us. We only see what is in our own little world. But the thing about God is He has a bird's eye view on everything and everybody. He can make things happen that we couldn't even conceptualize because it's not in our immediate field of view. Being able to let go of that control and that fear means that you can make space in your life for God to do what God does best and make things happen in His own way, doing things that we aren't expecting, think about something amazing that happened in your life. And you might have thought that it was going to happen in one specific way. And by the time it happened through some weird chain of events that seemed so synchronistic and strange, and you never could have thought that it was going to happen that way. That's because that's how God works. He makes things happen that are beyond what we think is possible, and beyond what we think is possible in terms of how. It's really none of our business to worry about how. All we need to be worrying about is, okay, this is the thing that I want in my life. And I'm going to have faith that it's going to be delivered to me in whatever form it's going to be delivered in. And all I need to do is make space for it to be there and have belief and faith that it's going to be there and be grateful that it is being delivered to me. It all starts with faith and ends with faith. There's no other way to work on letting go of that death grip on life without having faith that it's going to be fine, and have faith that God or the universe or spirit, whatever terminology you use, that someone's looking out for you, that someone has your best interests in mind, and that even the challenging, dirty, gross things you have to go through in your life are there to strengthen you and make you more resilient and stronger, so that the next time something happens, you can move through it even stronger and come out even stronger on the other side. Venus retrograde in Scorpio is asking all of us to let go of that control, or at least start to see where it is we have that death grip, where in our life that we're trying to control everything, and showing us that there is another way, that we don't have to have that death grip on that situation. Depending on how open we are to learning those lessons, it could either be extremely painful or it can be somewhat uncomfortable, but at least we recognize what's going on and we're willing to work with God and learn what we need to learn in order to be a lot more open to what God has to offer. If we try to resist so much, all we're doing is the exact same thing that we're being taught not to do. And so if we resist that much, it's just going to be that much more painful and difficult for us to work through. There's ways for even the biggest control freak to be able to let go of that death grip and work to be more receptive and intuitive and going with the flow of how the universe works, which we don't fully understand, and that's okay. The other day when I was in meditation, this idea came to me of breathing in provision and breathing out fear. Understanding that God will provide for you, that everything is going to work out just fine, and that all your needs are going to be met. Breathing in that feeling of safety and comfort that you have that provision and that everything is okay. And then breathing out the fear of what will happen if you let go of control. Sometimes you need to be strict with yourself and force yourself to just relax for a minute. Maybe you need to force yourself to take a day off of work and go home and do nothing and know that everything is going to be taken care of. Everything's going to be fine. The work's going to get done. It's going to be there when you get back. You don't need to be checking your email right now. You don't need to be worrying about any of it. You just need to be and allow God to do His work and allow God to bring the things to you that you've been toiling so much to create. By just taking a step back and just relaxing for a minute, you're creating that space for those things to come to you. I think it's way too easy to toil, to think that if we're not doing anything, then nothing is going to happen. We forget that sometimes we just need to plant a seed. We just need to remember that we are doing enough, that it's okay, that we don't need to be doing something every minute of every day in order to make something happen. We just need to take a step back and know that God is working even harder than we are to bring it to us, and it's going to come to us in a form that we weren't even expecting. You can also take some time to journal about everything that you do have, all the abundant provision that is already in your life. If you're watching this video, then you have an internet connection, you have a computer, you have time in your day to go and do something that doesn't have to do with your responsibilities. Those are all things to be so immensely grateful for. And there's several other things in your life, I'm sure, that you can think of to write down and just feel that gratitude. You can look at those things and that can help you with your practice in faith, because look, all those things are already in your life. Look at all those ways that you're already being provided for. What makes you think that you're being given up on now, that you're never gonna take the next step and become greater, that all the other things that you desire aren't going to come to you? You're going to be fine. The things that you need are going to be provided to you, even if it isn't as fast as you want it to be or in the form that you're expecting it to be. Remember also that Venus is beauty, and we all want to have a beautiful life. But we can't have those beautiful things in our life if we're so attached to the old and so attached to what we think is possible, having that control over everything. We can't allow the beautiful things to come. We can't allow our life to level up and become even more greater and even more beautiful if we're not allowing that to happen. We need to learn not to micromanage ourselves to the top of the mountain, because maybe there's another path on the other side of the mountain that'll get us there. And true freedom comes from letting go of that control and allowing God to drive the ship for a little while. Allow yourself to be provided for. Feel faith that you will have that provision and that you don't need to hold on to that fear any longer. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's inspired you to take a look where in your life you need to lessen control a little bit. If you're interested in booking a chart reading with me, we can look at these things together. My website is mollycardinalastrology.com, and I will talk to you in my next video.